Glenn Hall played 502 consecutive games as an NHL goalie. Zero chance that will ever be broken. Goalies these days rarely play more than 3/4 of an 82 game season, let alone numerous seasons without a night off. Also, Georges Vezina's 15 seasons straight of starts, more seasons than Hall, but shorter seasons, so Hall holds GP, only ending when he was literally dying. They forced him to leave when he was coughing blood at intermission. He was diagnosed with TB, and he died months later. Alexander Karelin, Greco-Roman wrestler, 887 wins to 2 losses. Entered 9 world championships and never lost a bout in them. Imagine being one of the 2 guys who gets to say he beat him though. The longest professional tennis match of all time, John Isner vs Nicholas Mahut at Wimbledon 2010. It lasted 11 hours 5 minutes, spanning 3 days of play, with a final score of 6-4, 3-6, 6-7, 7-6, 72-68. It was already nearly twice as long as the previous record holder. The reason it will likely never be broken is that every professional tournament except for one, Roland Garros, now has tiebreaker rules that limit the number of games that can be played in final sets. Although it's hypothetically possible at RG, clay court tennis is not at all conducive to the serve and volley style of play that led to the insanely long 5th set of Isner Mahut. I was in high school at the time, and Wimbledon happens in July, so I was able to watch the whole thing. I played tennis and was interested in American players, so I literally watched every point live. Incredible experience. Semicolon. Also, RG instituted a 5th set tie-break mechanic this year. It's a 10-point super break. Wade Boggs drank 64 beers on a domestic flight. R.I.P. Wade Boggs. What do now? John Isner hit 113 aces in his 70-68 match at Wimbledon. Played over 3 days. That record will never be broken because Wimbledon changed their rules, so they can't play that many games ever again. The Guardian's game-by-game report of that game remains the pinnacle of live sports reporting, just slowly losing their damned mind over the course of 3 days. Cy Young pitched ****749 complete games in his career. The current active pitcher with the most complete games in his career is Adam Wainwright, who has pitched for 17 years and has 27 complete games total. Pitchers just don't pitch the whole game anymore, and Young's record will never come close to being touched. Edit. To put Young's record in further perspective relative to modern day pitchers, I looked up career complete game stats for all current MLB pitchers. https://www.baseballreference.com/leaders/cg_active.shtml. And there are 124 pitchers total who have at least one complete game in their career, for a total of 505 collectively, 244 less than Cy Young alone pitched in his career. His total of 500 plus wins is equally untouchable. Wayne Gretzky's career points. Does he still have more assists than anyone else has total points? Hans Hayes DNQ, DNF and DSQ in one F1 race. Did not qualify, did not finish and disqualified. He did not qualify because he was too slow. Started anyway by sneaking his car in. Only when his gearbox failed after 10 laps was it realized that Hayes should not have been competing, whereupon he was disqualified. I love the idea of sneaking a car onto an F1 track. Surprised no one mentioned the unlimited water speed record. The current unlimited record is 511.11 km/h, 317.59 miles per hour, achieved by Australian Ken Warby in the Spirit of Australia in 1978. It hasn't been broken to this day due to how dangerous it is to go at those sort of speeds on the surface, and plenty of people have passed away trying. Here's https://n.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/spirit_of_Australia, the wiki article for the boat, which is kinda interesting. Holy shit. 85% fatality rate. I knew it was high, but not you're almost certainly going to die high. Ronnie O'Sullivan's quickest maximum 147 break. Sometimes the stars align and allow records to be broken, but this was a case of Ronnie nudging all the stars to exactly where he wanted them to be. Ricky Henderson's all-time stolen base record. The #2 guy on the list, Lau Brock, only has about 2/3 as many stolen bases as Henderson, 1406 vs 938. Not only that, but the active leader, D. Gordon, is 1,000 shy of Henderson. His single season mark of 130 is not likely to be broken either. He averaged nearly a steal a game, which is nuts. Rogerio Sena's record as the football goalkeeper with the most goals scored, 131 goals through his career, more than double of Chilavert's previous record. In 2005 he was the top scorer for Sao Paulo in a season they won the Copa Libertadores and the World Club Championship. The Voyager golden record is now in deep space and is extremely unlikely to ever come across anything which could break it before the end of humanity. Voyager, in case it's ever encountered by extraterrestrials, is carrying photos of life on Earth, greetings in 55 languages and a collection of music from Gregorian chants to Chuck Berry, including Dark Was the Night, Cold Was the Ground by 20s bluesman Blind Willie Johnson, whose stepmother blinded him when he was 7 by throwing lime at his eyes after his father had beat her for being with another man. He died, penniless, of pneumonia after sleeping bundled in wet newspapers in the ruins of his house that burned down. But his music just left the solar system. Josh Lyman. The current record for the Cannonball Run, a drive from New York to LA, is about 25.5 hours. It was set in May of 2020, and the drivers were able to make use of the lack of traffic due to the pandemic to break the record. Barring another similar world-changing event, traffic conditions will probably never be what they were when that record was set. Didn't the dudes have a network of spotters? Me and my brothers and a few buddies have basically our own cannonball that we've all tried a few times from Denver to our hometown back east, and we are fast at it. I'd like to attempt the New York to LA before I die. Another record is most miles on a motorcycle in a day, I think, is like 1600. This is another one I won't try to beat. Luigi Fagioli won the 1951 French Grand Prix at the age of 53 years, 22 days, making him the oldest F1 winner in history. Given that F1 drivers rarely continue driving past 40 anymore, this record looks pretty safe. Mika comes out of sabbatical. Maximum Verstappen being the youngest F1 driver to hit the grid at age 17. He is the reason why there's now a minimum age requirement for F1 and their license. He's on his 7th season already and is one of the more experienced F1 drivers, so I always think that he's around 30 years old. But he's just 24. For comparison, Lewis Hamilton was 22 when he started in F1. Cal Ripken's consecutive games played. It's 2,632 games for those wondering. Lau Gehrig is second with 2,130. There are 162 games in a regular season, not including playoffs. Don Bradman's career average of 99.94. Statistically, this one will be impossible to beat. Cricketers will come, and cricketers will go, but breaking 99.94 will be impossible. Secretariat's Belmont record. After the race, Sheik Anderson says that is a record that may stand forever. We are at 49 years so far, and no one's even come close. The amazing thing to me is that Turcotte never really asks him to run. Secretariat just cruised along and made it look like he was out for an easy morning gallop. I submit Rafael Nadal's Roland Garros wins. Once he hangs it up, that is. To be fair, Rafa faced scrubs like 20 slam winner Roger Federer and 20 slam winner Novak Djokovic. Wait. Jerry Rice's reception record in the NFL 1,549 is crazy. Career receiving yards leaders after 40y/0. Jerry Rice, 2509 yards. Tom Brady, 6 yards. Everyone else, 0 yards. Brett Favre, -2 yards. Richard Pettis 200 Cup wins. Beat me to it, no NASCAR driver will ever meet that. And if they do, they are gonna kill every fan base, except their owners. No one else will want to watch it. Also, with standardized cars instead of home-built machines, it's harder to get an advantage. Roger Federer reached the semi-finals of 23 consecutive Grand Slam tournaments. The man holds many records, but this one is probably the most significant, because it's the best indication of his regularity at the highest level. Reaching the quarterfinals of 58 Grand Slams is nothing to sneeze at either. Edit. 58 is the total. He went to 36 quarterfinals consecutively. Still awesome. Federer at his height was just ridiculous. He could beat you any way you wanted to play, unless you were Nadal on clay. Real answer? Javelin throw of 104.80 meters set by Yuhan. Someone else commented a 98 meters javelin throw is unbeatable. I'm so confused.